Israel. Welcome to the UPK in South Florida. We're coming to you again, bringing more truth and facts according to the Bible. Today, we're going to talk about slavery. Okay, what do we have here? We have Negroes to be sold. That's what we have. We have Negroes in the Bible being sold. Hebrew Israelites, and prove that the prophecy of our slavery is in the Bible. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, and prove that. Straight out of the Bible. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, again with ships.
Egypt means bondage. Egyptos. It's a Greek word. It means bondage. So it said we would go back to Egypt again with ships. Let me see what a ship looks like. A cargo slave ship. That is a cargo slave ship you see. Okay? And the scripture says that we will go back into Egypt again. According to the Bible, that's how we got here in America. By a cargo slave ship. Okay? Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt...
Who was speaking? That was the Lord speaking to Moses. Okay? When you read chapter 28 in the book of Deuteronomy, the Lord was speaking to Moses. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
He said, by the way where I spake unto thee. That was to Moses while we were going into our land. That's where the Lord spoke to him. Mount Sinai, in the wilderness, okay? The Lord brought these things to Moses' attention and told him what he was going to do with his people, okay? And he said he was going to put us on slave ships and sell us as slaves if we didn't follow his law, statutes, and commandments. And this is proven right here and now today that we broke the laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Most High, because these are actual drawings of actual pictures of us being sold and bonded and chained down, sold as slaves, the children of Israel. Let's read in a book called Crossing the Continents. In this book, Crossing the Continents, it's going to talk about a slave named Esteban. And then it's going to talk about the name that the Spaniards gave us. Flip back that one page. In this highlighting that he's going to be reading, and these captures in this book, it's going to bring a point out about the Israelites, the Negro slave. Let's hear what the book says.
Just read the highlights, right?
Right.
The modern social concept of an African American assumes ancestry in Africa, and a story in which the point of
socializes concept, meaning it gives you thought. I mean, when they're calling you an African American, it's trying to give you a point, place, and time. Okay? It's trying to make you believe that where you came from is what you are. But the prophecy said we would be scattered in all lands. Read.
The seminal event is the export of millions of slaves to America by Europeans. But the idea of calling those slaves Africans was originally European. The slaves themselves would have seen their origins in terms of their family, tribe, or clan.
See, we were in terms called by our family names, meaning Judah, Benjamin, Levi, or a clan. We would break off into a different clan under a different type name, off of the Hebrew dialect, off of the Hebrew language. Okay, many different names. Read.
And in the principalities and kingdoms with which they identified, they thought of themselves as Wolof, Mandinga, or Songhai.
These are some of the names that we use as tribes and clan while we were dwelling in a land of those type people that were already existing. See, we were fitting in the groove. Okay, read.
They were from Guinea or Mali,
We were in the places called Guinea and Mali. Alright, read.
They had no concept of being African.
We had no concept, meaning it wasn't in our thoughts that we were Africans, because we were Israelites. That's why it doesn't say on this capture African slaves. It says Negroes. Now go to that page where it's given about the Negroes. That's page 83 in that same book. And this same book, Crossing the Continents, tells you how the Spaniards came up with their concept about us. Read.
You want me to go up to the part about the Hamitic or just drop me
Right there.
Rayford Logan had himself pointed out that the Spanish sources nearly always referred to Esteban as El Negro, the black.
Rayford Logan, another writer, another one who admired the hero, an Israelite, Esteban, who came shipwrecked in the Americas in the 1500s and crossed the continents from Florida all the way to California, New Mexico. They referred to him as El Negro, meaning the black. They didn't call him the African. Read.
And that nearly all translators had interpreted this meaning as Negro. He also realized that Cabeza de Vaca used the same word Negro to describe human cargo of a Portuguese slaving ship.
Of a Portuguese slaving ship, El Negros, meaning Israelites. See, we had no concept of being Africans. The white man knew from Europe when he went over there, he was getting Israelites. He wasn't getting Africans. This is why when you see these signs to be sold Negroes, that's why they call us that. They didn't call us Africans, because Africans in Africa never refer themselves as Negroes. Okay? Only the Israelites. This is a slave-given name. This is why we carry it so well, because we were such good slaves. Read. That's it on that? Well, let's go back into the scripture in Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Let's get some more proof. More proof that in the Bible documents our slavery. Okay?
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
I have here two naked Negro slaves having barely something covering their bottom half of their body. Okay? And they look hungry and thirsty. Let me get another picture of another slave. Okay? Who was both hungry and thirsty. And this first capture was when he was just a normal slave. And this other side, on the opposite side, where he joined the white man's army for hunger and nakedness to have clothes. But in the middle showed that he was no more than a slave, because they whipped his back. This is an actual picture of an actual slave. And that's keloid skin from his back being whipped with a leather whip. They call it flogging. Okay? And in hunger and thirst and nakedness, he was a slave. Read.
And in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Let's go back to the naked Negro slaves. They have yokes of iron on their necks. Okay? This is recorded in the Bible that this would happen to the Hebrew Israelites, the Negroes, not Africans. There's no concept of them being Africans there. No more than they were captured out of that land and shipped by way of slave ship to Europe and the Americas. Read. Is there any more on that? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 43. Let's go to 43 and get some more on our slavery.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
The stranger, which is the so-called white man, he's gotten up very high above us. And we've become very low here in America, the West Indies, and all your Hispanic islands. We are the lowest ones on the totem pole. Wake up, Israel. This is part 1 of your slavery in the Bible. Shalom.